I wonder how, you know, all of these guys who have direct ties to Jeffrey Epstein, including but not limited to Elon Musk, can just get away with just constantly posting about Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, let's leak the client list or whatever. I think it's because they know that the truth will never come out.
So the Department of Justice is expected to release some of the Jeffrey Epstein files today. This comes out.
Hey guys, this is probably going to come across as shocking to virtually zero people here, but the files that they quote unquote released, they released to MAGA influencers. It was scrubbed clean of any sort of new details, and that's it. One good part of this, however, is that this is a very direct promises made, promises not kept moment, and a lot of the MAGA influencers are very upset. Some are very upset because they were not a part of the MAGA influencers movement that got access to the files. Others are very upset because the files feature nothing new, okay? And many of them are now extra suspicious of why the real files have not been revealed. Given how stupid things have become, I'm going to be very careful in saying this, but given how stupid things have become in general, I think this would have more of an impact on Trump's reception from many parts of the MAGA base in a negative way than literally if the Trump administration caught Medicaid and like killed their parents. I'm not even kidding. I'm so for real about this. Okay? I can't begin to explain to you. This isn't to say that like it's not important. The Epstein files are insignificant or anything like that. I think they are. But these people are more tuned into that shit than anything else. I could totally see this being like the breaking point or a jump off point for numerous hogs. Hogs are melting down all over Twitter for not getting the Epstein files released. And obviously the House Judiciary put a Rick Roll clip to say breaking Epstein files released. And everyone's like, women were the monsters organized and participated still walk amongst us. And you're joking about it. This is a insane thing to do. Not the first time Jim Jordan looked the other way when serious crimes were committed. This ain't gonna go how you thought it was. Now, it's because the understandable anger and resentment that Americans feel towards our pedophilic elite is bipartisan. But of course, when you are a part of the pedophilic elite, regardless of your party affiliation, you don't understand that. You think it's like, haha, who cares? Lol, a meme. For a lot of people, it is not a meme at all. And for many of those people that I'm talking about, they're not even, you know, their obsession with this is definitely beyond like a normal, understandable level of enthusiasm and interest. I nor the task force were given or reviewed the Epstein documents being released today. A New York Post story just revealed that the documents will simply be Epstein's phone book. This is not what we or the American people asked for, and a complete disappointment. Get us the information we asked for, says Representative Anna Paulina Luna, official representative for Florida 13. This is not going the way that they thought it would go. I don't know why they thought that like people wouldn't understandably get mad at this. Who is subverting POTUS? The Epstein files are a total joke. I know Cash, Pam Bondi, the president. This is not the file. White House tells me that they believe usual suspects at FBI/SDNY has the actual Epstein client list and are refusing to turn it over. This is an internal civil war if true. I will be doing a special X-cast in a few minutes. Attorney General Pam Bondi says FBI withheld information on Epstein files currently held at FBI New York City field office. Bondi wants it delivered to DOJ tomorrow, but it must go through many different levels of protection of victims before released. Oh my God. How much you want to bet they're going to eliminate all of the Republicans and Republican donors from these lists? And only keep like, and probably a lot of the Democrat donors too, but only keep like a key number of Democrats from it. I do want to mention to every single person that one, I believe that Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad and CIA operative who engaged in blackmailing high-profile individuals on his Lolita Express, including but not limited to trafficking minors, and that the American government will never truly reveal the heinous crimes that it committed. Okay? Just so you understand. I didn't think you'd say it out loud. Wait, what? Why? Why wouldn't I say it out loud? Motherfucker, The Ehud Barak visited Jeffrey Epstein's New York mansion in 2016. What is Ehud Barak, former Israeli prime minister, doing at Jeffrey Epstein's? Is it not anti-Semitic to say that? I'm genuinely asking. Why is the former Israeli prime minister Ehud Barak at Jeffrey Epstein's mansion in Manhattan in 2016? What are we even talking about? No, it's not like a polar bear in Arlington, Texas. It's like a polar bear in the Arctic Circle. Okay? Are they in Antarctica? That's where the polar bears are, right? Can you explain the connections between him and the CIA and Mossad? I don't know, man. How did a internationally renowned sex trafficker file get a slap on the wrist by, at the time, Florida prosecutor Alexander Acosta, who then became Donald Trump's labor secretary, by the way, later down the line, because people told Alexander Acosta that Jeffrey Epstein was too valuable of a asset. Also, Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's second in command, okay? Ghislaine Maxwell's father is like the OG espionage guy. Robert Maxwell. For a writer who broke Epstein case, a rumored Mossad link is worth digging into. Reporter Julie K. Brown isn't convinced the accused sex trafficker took his own life and says associate Robert Maxwell may not have been the only one tied to Israeli intelligence. On this day of justice and transparency, I'd sure like to hear from Trump's former labor secretary. Yep. I was told Epstein belonged to intelligence and to leave it alone. That's what Alexander Acosta, former U.S. attorney in Miami, said after explaining why he cut Jeffrey Epstein a sweetheart non-prosecution plea deal back in 2007. Bro, you're going to get canceled over this? Be careful. What are you guys talking about? I think you might be new here, okay? You might quite literally be the newest person here. Famously, back in the day, my YouTube page was completely blacklisted because I went over Jeffrey Epstein's entire case for 8 hours, okay? It was a 10-hour broadcast, and 8 of it was directly dedicated to Jeffrey Epstein. I put that video, the 8-hour video, directly on my YouTube page, and then YouTube blacklisted me completely, okay? The next couple of videos after that got like 10 views. I had to delete the video. How did you get unblacklisted after that? I had to delete the video. It's coming to dangerous territory. What is the dangerous territory? Do you think that Mossad and CIA don't operate side by side on certain issues, but also definitely on other issues hate one another as well? What are we talking about? Like, what the do you think Benjamin Netanyahu is? How the Benjamin Netanyahu be the consistent leader of Israel for so many years? But okay, maybe I'm dramatic, just saying I've seen people lose careers over less than this. Dog, what are we talking about? Nothing I have said is incorrect. Jeffrey Epstein boasted about being a Mossad agent like Ghislaine Maxwell's father, Robert, according to the bombshell claims from ex-girlfriend. Also, you know, I've also talked to the journalists that are tasked with investigating this stuff many times over.
After a Republican push for transparency, Griff Jenkins joins us live from Washington with the details. So who's on the list, Griff?
Boy, Lawrence, that is the question. Good morning. And there's no timeline, Lawrence, for when this bombshell may drop today. But if Pam Bondi's teaser to Jesse last night is any indication, we could get some shocking revelations.
200 victims, 200. So we have, well over 250 actually. So we have to make sure that their identity is protected and their personal information. What you're going to see hopefully tomorrow is a lot of flight logs, a lot of names, a lot of information, but it's pretty sick what that man did.
Recall this all started after President Trump first told our own Rachel Campos Duffy that he was open to releasing some information.
Donald Trump, ironically enough, I him all the time. If you know anything about their connection to one another, Donald Trump ironically cut ties with Jeffrey Epstein far before the Clintons did, okay? As a matter of fact, the Clintons never really cut ties with the Epsteins. Like, Donald Trump literally used to be homies with him, okay? That's why those videos exist from the 90s. Ironically enough, when he was homies with him, Jeffrey Epstein would use Mar-a-Lago as a hunting ground to get underage girls that he could traffic. And as soon as Donald Trump found out that he had this court case, he was like, it's done. There is no other evidence of these two people ever connecting with one another. I still, however, believe that Donald Trump's administration killed him because he was a asset. Too many rich and too many powerful people, liberal and Democrat alike, would get in trouble if the Jeffrey Epstein tapes were ever revealed. There is no Jeffrey Epstein client list, period. It's a figment of the internet's imagination and a means to just slander people. Oh, she's saying that there is no like official Jeffrey Epstein client list. He was known to record people and save evidence against them. Really? Imagine telling this to Julie K. Brown. She's being sarcastic here, by the way. Julie K. Brown is almost entire. I don't want to put too much stress on her, which I'm sure she's had to deal with for many, many years at this point. But she is quite literally the responsible party for why this Jeffrey Epstein stuff blew up again. Like almost single-handedly. Julie K. Brown, well, if you actually read my book or anyone's, you would know that the FBI file on Epstein is public. Google it in the FBI's vault. It is, however, heavily redacted. So yes, there is a file. The real stuff that I would want to know, that I think a lot of Epstein people that have been tracking this stuff for many, many years want to know is what those marked DVDs and CDs had in the Epstein mansion. Okay? I don't think we will ever find out, and I'm almost certain that they deleted all of that shit. I mean, maybe if they just kept it as blackmail, maybe they didn't delete it. But when the police raided, when the second case opened up on Jeffrey Epstein, and the police raided his Manhattan home, they found hard drives. Okay? They found hard drives, CDs, DVDs that were all marked with names that are redacted. The FBI since then has said, oopsie, it may have changed hands and we don't know where they are, or like that. I think if they're blackmail on very wealthy individuals, I doubt that they would delete that because that's very important blackmail material. But I understand where Julie K. Brown is coming from in terms of like the Epstein client list.
Would you declassify the 9/11 files?
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
Wait, what?
Then last month, President Trump signing an executive order calling on agencies to release secret documents. Well, now Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna says she just heard from the DOJ in posting the letter sent from them to X, which reads in part, "The integrity of criminal investigations and prosecutions is essential to every component of the department's mission to uphold the rule of law, keep our nation safe, and protect civil rights." What's unclear at this point is how this might affect Epstein's co-defendant, Ghislaine Maxwell, who's currently serving 20 years for her role in covering for Epstein. Steve?
We're standing by for it. All right.
Wait, go find the full clip. He straight up says, no, I actually don't think I will do the Epstein stuff. Did he actually? Can someone find that?
Welcome back into Live Now from Fox, where we are following some breaking news regarding documents detailing some of the crimes committed by Jeffrey Epstein. Taking a look here at a post from Fox News on X in which they say Epstein files : Pam Bondi sends fiery note to Kash Patel accusing FBI of withholding docs. So according to Fox News, Attorney General Pam Bondi sending that.
I can tell you one person I know for a fact is a Jeffrey Epstein client and friend, Elon Musk's brother, Kimball Musk. Straight up. Kimball Musk met his girlfriend through Jeffrey Epstein. Yup. She was one of Jeffrey Epstein's girls. Oh, we found the full clip. And no, not every single one of Jeffrey Epstein's girls that he trafficked were minors, chap. There were minors as well, for sure. But never every single one of them were minors. As a matter of fact, a lot of them were not minors.
Files.
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah.
Would you?
I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would, or at least
And do you think that would restore trust? Help restore trust?
Yeah, I don't know about Epstein so much as I do the others. Certainly about the way he died.
Oh!
It would be interesting to find
Sure.
out what happened there, because that was a weird situation, and the cameras didn't happen to be working, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, I'd go a long way toward that one. The other stuff I would definitely do the January 6th.
Dog, you were the president. Your main guy at the time, old Bilbo Barr, was in charge of the DOJ. This is a very convenient fact that Trump supporters keep forgetting. Anyway, I just wanted to point this out. I don't think it's because I'm not libbed up and saying like, oh, it's because Trump is compromised or whatever. I don't think he was. I think he was initially compromised, but I think he cut ties far before any of these other pedophilic elite did. Having said that, I think Trump did it because he knows not to rock the boat. Just because he's president doesn't mean he knows what happened in the 7.5 minutes where 2 guards left Jeffrey Epstein unsupervised. Excuse me. The 7.5 minutes where 2 guards left Jeffrey Epstein unsupervised, that also there's no footage of, because unfortunately in those 7.5 minutes, the cameras actually broke.
Letter to FBI Director Kash Patel today accusing federal investigators in New York of withholding thousands of pages of Jeffrey Epstein documents she has vowed to make public. Now, I do have a copy of that letter that was obtained by Fox News. A live now look at the Capitol building as I read to you what the Attorney General had to say. She goes on to say this: Dear Director Patel, before you came into office, I requested the full and complete files related to Jeffrey Epstein. In response to this request, I received approximately 200 pages of documents, which consisted primarily in flight logs, Epstein's list of contacts, and a list of victims' names and phone numbers. I repeatedly questioned whether this was the full set of documents responsive to my request and was repeatedly assured by the FBI that we had received the full set of documents. Late yesterday, I learned from a source that the FBI field office in New York was in possession of thousands of pages of documents related to the investigation and indictment of Epstein. Despite my repeated requests, the FBI never disclosed the existence of these files. When you and I spoke yesterday, you were just as surprised as I was to learn of this new information. She goes on to say by 8 a.m. tomorrow.
What do I make of this intra-hog administrative warfare? I think it's bullshit. I think they're faking it. They're fake. I think that they are basically fake fighting because there's no shot. Like, in order to believe that the Trump administration is honest about like releasing these files, you have to legitimately be a QAnon conspiracist. You have to legitimately think that Donald Trump is actually interested in undermining the deep state. Okay? Donald Trump has never been interested in undermining the deep state because the deep state, a concept that was literally initially invented in Turkey, okay, with the MIT, is a parallel government, a parallel governance, an espionage agency that operates not at the behest of the government, but actually operates alongside the government and oftentimes will undermine the government. Now, while I do believe that in the United States of America, especially in periods of the Cold War, there were instances where the CIA and numerous other agencies like that did operate outside of the boundaries of the American government, but ultimately still at the behest of American capital. Okay? Donald Trump is virtually the greatest deity of American capital. He is a heaven sent for American
February
capital.
20.
Why the deep state be against him? No, he hates the annoying, boring, lawyer-ass libtards in the FBI. That's it. Why do you think he never talks about the CIA, for example? He rarely ever talks about the CIA. He just doesn't like some of the gay libs at the FBI that still care about like institutional legitimacy or whatever. That's it. And also, he's a very petty man. He just hates the whole Christopher Steele dossier. He doesn't hate the deep state. There is no parallel interest. There's no parallel governance within the American State Department. Donald Trump is the American State Department. Deep state started with a secret society of assassins that met the Crusaders. Leap of faith, bro. Dude, you are so weird, man. You say this all the time. You say like the weirdest shit in chat, Tolkien Society. Please stop. for the past 2 days, you've just been chirping nonstop with like things that you're hallucinating. I know that's an Assassin's Creed reference, but I can't tell if you're being serious or not because you literally routinely say some of the weirdest.
28th, the FBI will deliver the full and complete Epstein files to my office, including all records, documents, audio and video recordings, and materials related to Jeffrey Epstein and his clients, regardless of how much information was obtained. There will be no withholdings or limitations to my or your access. The Department of Justice will ensure that any public disclosure of these files will be done in a manner to protect the privacy of victims and in accordance with law, as I have done my entire career as a prosecutor. Finally, she says, I am also directing you to conduct an immediate investigation into why my order to the FBI was not followed. You will deliver to me a comprehensive report of your findings and proposed personnel action within 14 days. I appreciate your immediate attention to this important matter. I know that we are both committed to transparency for the American people, and I look forward to continuing to work with you to serve our president and our country. And then it's signed.
They're not going to destroy it. They're just going to put it under a mountain of paperwork. They're going to put it on that like inaccessible information processing system that they have, which if they haven't already, inaccessible by outside internet or anything like that. Why the would they? I just don't think that they would delete blackmail. It's really hard to come by. You know what I mean? Jeffrey worked really hard to get the blackmail. I doubt that they would just delete it. You know what I mean? Yeah, the air gap system that they have, this is probably where they put it. They wouldn't delete it, I don't think. But I will tell you this. I do not think that they will actually reveal any new information. Okay? Or if they do, it'll be like legitimate evidence about Hillary Clinton's involvement, potentially. Even that is a bridge too far in my estimation. But you bet your ass Ehud Barak is not going to be talked about. You know what I mean? You think the Trump administration would actively undermine Israeli assets, for example? No. If you think that they would, if the Trump administration will burn Israeli assets or even CIA assets, you're out of your mind. That is a big if, by the way, even for the Hillary Clinton. They're protecting the Clintons for sure. I don't know if you're being sarcastic when you say this, but I genuinely mean it. I think that they would also go so far as to protect the Clintons as well. 100p. Because these guys are all elites. Okay? That's it. They're all elites. Donald Trump hates the Clintons, even though he was friends with the Clintons for the longest time. There's no shot because it's too disruptive. That would be unironically too disruptive. That'd be the most disruptive thing that Donald Trump has done thus far. Regardless of his petty grievances, Trump knows where his bread is buttered.
Sincerely, Pam Bondi. Now, you may remember
that's why his didn't even throw the Clintons in jail, dude. He kept saying, lock her up. What happened? You didn't even lock her up. You couldn't even give us a moment of solace in all of the madness your first term. You didn't even do lawfare on Joe Brandon, you demon. What's wrong with you? He literally did lawfare on you. Look at the DOJ. They came after you for all the minutia. But notice how all of the minutia that they came after Donald Trump was not for the normal elite corruption. It was for like very obvious instances of paperwork mismanagement or things that are not replicable by elites down the line. And obviously, lo and behold, nothing came of that regardless. But where are we at? Why? Why wouldn't you do... Why wouldn't you investigate Joe Biden? Why wouldn't you throw Joe Biden in prison? He's going to die in the process anyway. Make his last years on earth a living hell. Embarrass him. But Trump is a phony and a coward and a okay? He's made. He won't even give us that.
Pam Bondi, the Attorney General, she was the one who swore in FBI Director Kash Patel, as you see from this video just a couple of weeks ago. Just to reiterate here, a Fox News reporting that the Attorney General saying that she had requested the full Epstein case file before Kash Patel was confirmed as the head of the FBI and received about 200 pages of those files, far less than a number of pages released last year in a civil lawsuit connected to Ghislaine Maxwell, the trafficker's former lover and convicted accomplice. She said the FBI had never disclosed the existence of those files and demanded that they be turned over by Friday morning, 8 a.m. Friday morning Eastern time, in accordance to that letter. I do want to bring up some more reaction posts on X from several Congress members, representatives.
If they had evidence on Biden, wouldn't they have tried to blackmail Ukraine about Hunter? Wait, what do you mean they did? They did do that. What are you talking about? That's why he got impeached. And no, they did not have evidence. They had evidence on Hunter Biden, obviously getting a job at Burisma that he didn't deserve to get, but they did not have enough evidence to tie Hunter Biden to Joe Biden.
List is going to be released and much more is coming. There's currently a war raging within. The resistance within will be beaten and the truth will be revealed. I'm so proud of AG Pam Bondi and FBI Director Cash, both warriors. And so we'll continue to follow this very closely because, again, this letter is calling for all of those documents to be handed over by 8 in the morning, Friday, February 28th. And we'll be following.
What is this news report? It's kind of weird.
Phase one.
Like the way that they're covering it. I feel like they're just making up stories to muddy the waters. He fully has cat turd brain. This is the story. President Trump and AG Pam Bondi committed to releasing the Epstein files. They did. About 200 pages. Bondi smelled a rat because there was nothing juicy in the 200 pages. Just flight logs and a Rolodex of phone numbers. No smoking gun. Still, Bondi promised to release the documents. She prepared a binder for them. She prepared a binder of them. Then, last night, a whistleblower contacted Bondi and revealed that the SDNY was hiding potentially thousands of Epstein files, defying Bondi's order and to give them all to her. We're talking recordings, evidence, etc., the juicy stuff, names. These swamp creatures at SDNY deceive Bondi, Cash, and you. Be outraged that the binder is boring. You should be, because the evil deep state lied to your face. The binder is powerful because it's tangible physical evidence of the disgusting stunt the SDNY tried to pull. The binder is powerful. Bondi is now demanding all Epstein evidence from SDNY plus an investigation into the persons who committed this act of defiance. The legacy media has betrayed you again. They lied to you. They smear you. They gaslight you. They deserve no special access to real-time exposure of corruption because they played a role in covering it up in the first place. I mean, be for real, dude. You give it to Jack Posobiec, former naval intelligence officer Jack Posobiec, Mike Cernovich, and libs of TikTok. If you were truly serious about revealing this information, get out of here. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would. Who would I give it to? The guy who runs the End Wokeness account, okay, and libs of TikTok. First of all, it's just not. You are the media, and be very, very angry that the deep state. Yeah, it's the deep state SDNY agents that are hiding the truth, and not our big beautiful boy Donald Trump. Even though he was killed when Trump was president, you are way too informed on all these weirdos getting lost. Okay. So the Jeffrey Jebediah Epstein files were given to MAGA meme guy DC Drano, libs of TikTok, former OAN anchor Liz Wheeler, who we're reading with that funny voice, Pizzagate promoter Mike Cernovich, and numerous others. Today I met with Chad Prather. An eagle-eyed tipster points out one more in the above pic. On the left with the MAGA hat, celebrity gossip influencer RFK enthusiast Jessica Reed Krause, a.k.a. House in Habit. Meanwhile, MAGA comedian Chad Prather scored a binder as well. The person that they gave this to, truly unreal, that the Epstein files are being selectively released to, of all people, Mike Cernovich, a pro-advocate, this is real, an accused who served as a cat's paw for Epstein attorney and likely Epstein client, Alan Dershowitz, to smear Epstein victim, Virginia Giuffre. Cernovich trained as a lawyer. In 2003, he was accused of a woman he knew. The charge was later dropped, but a judge offered him to do community service for misdemeanor battery. His record has since been expunged. Under Nixon, this court should not allow itself to be Cernovich's partner in gratifying his private spite for victims of sexual by giving him depictions of assault to be read or published. Nor should the court gratify Dershowitz's private spite for Miss Jeffrey by allowing Cernovich to act as his proxy. Mike Cernovich was harassing Virginia Giuffre, one of the major, if not the most significant Epstein victim. Okay? Virginia Giuffre, that Alan Dershowitz obviously despises and shits on all the time when he's not like, you know, talking about how Israel is the best country on the planet. Cernovich cites no civil case in which a court modified a protective order to give an intervener access to discovery information about the assault of a minor, except for a case when the intervener was the handicapped victim's mother. Instead, Cernovich cites authority that this is inapposite and self-evidently distinguishable. Honest question, what is stopping Patel from just putting whatever he wants in the Epstein files? Doesn't the Trump White House have complete control over whatever comes out? No, they're not going to I don't think that they would put fake information into it. And it's the same reason why they won't actually release the real information that they have either. Okay? Do you understand? Yeah. Alan Dershowitz, the Dersh, who famously advocated to lower the age of consent from a constitutional perspective, of course. Alan, who famously said, "Oh, I've gotten massages at the Epstein home, but I always had my underwear on." That Alan Dershowitz. The only thing that came out of this, the information that came out of this is not new anyway, okay? Which is not very surprising in my opinion. Prather and DC Drano posted the exact same tweets about the binders word for word. Breaking, social media influencers who received the Epstein binder were caught posting identical messages, making it seem like a coordinated advertisement. Today, I met with President Trump, VP J.D. Vance, AG Pam Bondi, and Kash Patel. They handed me a binder copy of the Epstein files. This is the most transparent administration in American history. The best part? This is just the start. Attorney General Bondi confirmed there are 1,000 more Epstein file documents being secretly held in the SDNY, and they will be delivered to the DOJ in D.C. by February 28th. People will be going to jail for what they've done. You underestimate how dumb chatters are being? Today was so weird. It has Portnoy posting like a lib. I'm going to be fair. These questions need to be asked today. Why is the release of the Epstein list always a show? What point of booting out illegals and criminals while somehow becoming a safe haven for the Tate brothers? Why is crypto in the toilet if Trump is crypto king? How far does Tesla stock have to crash before Elon goes back to work? Oh my God. This is brilliant. They got Pork Boy posting like a liberal. Oh my God. Yeah. I wonder how, you know, all of these guys who have direct ties to Jeffrey Epstein, including but not limited to Elon Musk, can just get away with just constantly posting about Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, let's leak the client list or whatever. Okay. They always talk about the pedophilic elite, Jeffrey Epstein and the pedophilic elite. They always say this, and they're like Epstein associates. I think it's because they know that the truth will never come out.